Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. So you can provide the basic, and then if the buyer, so as a listing, that's the basic. That may be the way that you get everybody to waive their inspection, is by putting on a home warranty, which would put people at ease to go ahead and waive that inspection. And then, like Dave just suggested, you'd go ahead and add on the 140. Maybe that's the closing gift, Rosalia. That's not too much to say, hey, you know what? I upgraded your buyer plan. We are looking for referrals for life, guys. And I'm not saying we buy our business, but we think about, you know, what would be of value to people. Okay, Michelle, a question before we move on.
Yes, do the systems have to be, is there an age limit? Like if they're over 10 years old or over 15 years old, doesn't apply?
We
Like,
don't
say-
have an age limit.
No age
Okay.
limit. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Alright.
One thing, whole house, or is that just specific? Warranty?
It's the major systems located within the four walls of the main foundation of the home, including the attached garage. Like, we know that the AC and pool and spa, because we do have that coverage, and septic and water well pumps are outside, so those will be able to look at coverage. We don't look at anything structural.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So
And the other
before we
part,
move
go
on,
ahead.
let's get Rosalind's question answered, because I want to make sure she's completely understandable. Andy, do you want to address Rosalind's question?
Rosalia's,
Rosalia, sorry.
that's okay.
So Rosalia was wondering, can you refresh my memory? We had like 4 questions just there. So Rosalia, can you help me out here? What was your question?
Well, okay, a buyer's closing on a home. I say, I know, you know, the inspection didn't go as great as you wanted to. I can refer you to this company. Will you then take it from there? Can I just give your name, or do I have to go over the whole thing with them? Is there some book I can give them? I mean, I don't want to be responsible.
So the
for-
question is, how do they refer and what kind of liability do they have on them to explain this?
Yeah,
So typically, the agents offer the home warranty to their clients on behalf of themselves. So if you have a client and you are showing them the home warranty, you would either send them an email with a PDF brochure and tell them to take a look at page 10, which is the pricing page. And then if they say, okay, I want the home warranty, that's when you give me a call, and all I would need is their name, their address, and which policy they want to go ahead and enter the policy into our system. Then we would submit an invoice to you that you would then typically forward to the closing attorney and title rep, and instruct the closing attorney and title rep to do one of 2 things: to take the funds out of settlement from the seller's proceeds, or to add the cost of the policy to the closing cost for the buyer.
Okay.
Andy,
I-
where would they find this brochure with all of this great information?
From me, Patty. So
Okay, put
if
your
you-
contact information in the chat, please.
Yes, please do that.
I will do that right now.
I would also advise to just, if you want to send Patty and I some information that we could send out, we can post it where it needs to be so our agents have it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What if the buyers have questions? I know you know, sometimes they're just not going to just buy it. They have specific questions, and they, you know, that
Great
might
question.
arise.
Absolutely. So in that case, take their questions and forward them to me. I typically never speak to the clients directly. But if you take the question and forward it to me, I will answer it immediately. Everyone who works with me knows that I always get back to you within 1 hour, even on weekends. Never have a time where you're not able to get an answer from me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. Would it be okay that we have you come back? Because we have some information that we really need to dive into in the next 30 minutes.
Absolutely, Mary Beth.
Okay.
Anytime.
All right. Well, thank you. No, I appreciate it. And please send me the email, molive@kw.com.
Okay, I'm sending it right now.
And Donna,
And
thank you so
copy-
much.
Copy P. Jalal. Whoops, gone.
Ejal out. No, I'm still here. Hold on. Give me
Okay,
one
P.
second.
Jalal.
Okay, I'm writing that down, Patty.
And
Thank
just
you.
so everybody knows, we do this Thursday I know it's Red Day, so understand if you can't do it. This Thursday at 12 p.m., we do have a home warranty training where we go in depth. I can forward, Andy, you should have the link, but I'll forward it to Andy and he can join. And I'm admitting somebody to the room for you.
Okay,
Hear that?
thanks. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I think I'm still
It's
the host.
Thursday at what time?
12 p.m.
12
12.
p.m.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. I
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Bye,
All
everyone.
right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So just one of our services that we can offer to our customers. This is something that you should have knowledge of. You should be able to talk to clients about. They'll ask about it. Just as you should have knowledge of the mortgage process or a loan officer, as Roddy was giving Scott Leaf and Atlantic Home Loans, you know, a little recognition for being able to get the the commitment quickly. You have to have an A team. And even when you're lead generating and you're following up, these are little things that you're going to follow up with is, hey, maybe I could put you in touch with this one. And you should be working together. There should be a mutual understanding. I don't ever want to hear that Roddy went and gave Scott Leaf a lead because he needs them pre-approved and blah, blah, blah. And Scott Leaf went and gave it to somebody else. That doesn't happen in our preferred vendors. We have preferred vendors because we have relationships with them. We would never do that. So feel confident enough that if you got to give that lead and that information over to one of our vendors, they're going to treat it as if it's their client, your client together. Okay. Now I want to show you, Patty is on top of her technology. She has found the letter. She's so good. Basically what happens is when you go in here, I had pressed social
Yeah.
and it's not under social, it's under print.
Print.
So if you're in commands and you go to designs, okay, and we go to this little plus button down here on the right hand corner, big blue button with the white cross plus, it's going to give us that option and we're going to click on print
Print.
and then we're going to go next. And when we get into the print aspect, I guess we get different templates.
Yeah, you do. Go under
And-
business basics.
Okay, so here we are.
Business basics over to the left. There you go, letterheads.
Okay, and so it's simple. And what I would suggest to you is you all just create your own letterhead. Open it up. It's a very simple program to use. It's like Canva. And go ahead and create your own letterhead. Okay. So,
There's so much there and it's constantly being upgraded. It's,
and if you wanted to be
So
Patty
it's good
Gurney
to
for the
share.
day, you could be Patty Gurney for the day and throw your picture right up in there and put it on the bottom and have like letterhead. Okay, so you guys could do lots of stuff with this. If you need to, you know,
your correct logo, make sure you've got the correct logo.
you want to up it because you need to see it because you can't see it. You're going to keep making it and then you're just going to type right up in there and you can type away. It is a
Or
very
look over to
simple.
the left and pull your logo.
Yep, and you can pull whatever logos you need in, and then you would just download it. You would download it and save it to your computer, so you would have your own letterhead. Okay. So one topic that is on my heart to talk to you guys about is this. Right here. What are we doing with our open houses? This is a 7th level open house, number 1, and this is on page 81 in the shift book. Okay. 81 in the shift book is the 7-level open house. So I'm actually pulling this from an old presentation that Michael Lewis has as a listing presentation. I will take this piece and throw it into the lobby for you, but you do have access to this presentation if you wanted to make it your own. Anyway, okay. So an open house. Typically, this is what we see of agents. Agents go and they put a sign in the yard. I mean, your brain is that it's going to sell quick. How many people are going to come through this open house? How am I going to? We should be thinking about the before, the after, all of the opportunities that come off of an open house. And I speak from experience here that my business was really built on open houses and on other people's open houses. As a young agent, I didn't have listings. My first year, I only closed 5 listings. And of the 5, 1 was commercial, 1 was a condo. And so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to do that. I used other people's listings. And when I did the open house, it wasn't just me showing up with a sign in the yard and balloons. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to walk through this a little bit. And I'm going to go right to number 7.
Mary Beth, for clarification, so you filled in for someone when you said you used other people's? You
So
filled
Dorothy,
in? You handled it?
not necessarily filled in for someone. It's just that an agent, a listing agent has a property and they're not going to host an open house this weekend. So
Oh, okay.
I'd like to host an open house, and they say, go right ahead. Now, the listings are selling so quick right now that it's one open house and done. And there are some that are lasting a few weekends, okay? We see properties that are on the market longer than 10 days. But the other opportunity is that we have listing agents who are asking you guys to be there to help them with their open houses because there's just too many people. So now I promise you, the listing agent, and some of you have been that listing agent in this market, that it's a little fast paced and you didn't get a chance. You didn't get a chance to do all this prospecting that you could have done for the listing because it was selling and you were already getting results. And guess what? The seller was happy with you. So you are happy. But I am not happy because there are missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
take a look at the tallest bar here. Here's what the 7th level, and then I'll close the page and we can really talk about this. 1, hold 4 other open houses in an area of various price ranges. Now that is if you are a heavy listing agent and you have multiple listings in an area. The best way to get the traffic to choose you as their realtor is to have those other houses open. But there is an idea that I have that I will bring up about other open houses while you're doing your open house, okay? Remind me of the best of. Number 2, it says, get on the phone that morning and remind everyone. Okay, so let's talk about who everyone is. Go invite neighbors, 100 minimum. Flyers the week before, not 2 hours before, not the day before. The flyers a week before, email invites and post it on websites. Next one, directional signs at all key corners with balloons, riders. Sign in the yard with the balloons and the riders, and a sign in the yard. Now, we are in 2021, so I do want us to fast forward a little bit and think about some of these things. And it's not always going to be just, how do I do this in person, in print, in the mailbox? That is not it. It's going to be, okay, invite 100 of the neighbors. Shout it out. How are ways that we can invite neighbors?
Door knock?
Door knock,
Postcards,
postcards in the mailbox,
Social media.
social media, okay, targeted ads, social media posts. How about social media? You are having an open house in Ridgewood and you are part of the Ridgewood Facebook group and you put it on the Ridgewood Facebook group that you're having an open house. Okay, that's how you market it to the neighbors on social media. How else?
Can use the Nextdoor app too.
Mhm.
Thank you, Annie. The Nextdoor app. The Nextdoor app is awesome. If you are not all on the Nextdoor app, you need to get on it. It's nextdoor.com or the Nextdoor app. You set yourself up with a profile. It's all about where you live and you get to connect with people where you live.
Can you select different regions, different locations, or do you have to stick to one neighborhood?
I think you have to just put your real home address. Unless you have multiple houses and you could be in multiple places, right?
That's true.
If you have a bedroom in one of your children's houses, you can consider it that, right? The daughter you're selling.
Yeah.
But okay, so Nextdoor app, I love that. What else? Somebody put in the chat, neighborhood events. neighborhood events. Let's say there's a garage sale happening on Sunday, but your listing is going live on Wednesday and you're gonna have an open house. Wouldn't that be great to go put some flyers out right there at the open house? Maybe there's a QR code on the flyer as well for those people who wanna scan it instead. Okay. What is the one thing that nobody has said though? Patty, you know it, right?
Phone
Don't
calls?
I'm
answer.
not going to answer
Thank
though.
you, Lisa. Thank you. You are the winner, Lisa.
Oh. Who
Oh.
knew?
What did she
So-
say? I didn't catch it.
Phone calls.
Oh, phone calls. Yeah.
Okay, that is probably the easiest phone
Yeah.
call that any of you can
Yeah.
make. Hi, Lisa. This is Mary Beth at Keller Williams. I just wanted to let you know that your neighbor down the street is going to have an open house on Sunday. I
Mhm.
will be there, and listen to me. I will be there from 12 to 1, and that is a VIP neighbor-only open house. It's an
Nice.
exclusive invite to you. Please come out and
Mhm.
like, listen, help us pick your new neighbor. Come see the property. And from 1 to 3, we're going to have a public open house. So 12 to 1, be sure if you can't be there, now maybe I don't get her. Maybe I do a bunch of slide dials. Maybe they go into if you don't know what a slide dial is, there's a slide dial, slide broadcast, which means you can send messages to people's voicemail box. Ever get a voicemail box and you're like, that person never called me, but why did they leave a message? I must have missed the call. No, they didn't. You didn't miss the call. They slide dialed you. They didn't really want you to answer. They just wanted to leave the voicemail. Okay.
But
So
what about a text? You know what I mean? Like a
Text
text. if they don't
messaging. Thank
answer?
you. Text messaging.
Mhm.
So here's the deal. We have Cole Realty for all of you. If you are doing an open house, or if you have an area that, we're talking specifically open house, I would be emailing me, the coaching lobby at kw.com. Mary Beth, I'm doing an open house at 123 Main. Please send me the list. I'll send you my version of open house list, which I'm going to take the radius and I'm going to give you all the phone numbers and emails that I can right in that 200, person radius or half-mile radius.
Or
Like-
quarter mile, depending on how densely populated.
Yeah, she's right, because you know what? A half a mile could give us 3,000 people.
That's right.
But go ahead,
Just
Lisa.
just to jump in, I love that RPR app because it gives you that little bullseye in that circle and you just tag it right to your location and then it opens up that little circle. It tells you every house. It tells you new, sold, leased, everything. It's amazing.
Okay, thank you. Now, honestly, by a show of hands, how many of you set your RPR app up?
I'm trying.
So
yet.
I hear Dorothy, I'm trying. Lisa has, Ann has. I see Ann's hands up and Kristen. Guys, somebody give them advice. What should they do first? Because they all need to get their RPR set up.
So, National Board of Realtors sent me a link. I could see if I could
Oh.
send a link on the chat. And then you just open that up, you download the mobile app, and then you just sign in with your credentials. Easy peasy.
Okay, Ann?
What she said, but but also the CMA is fabulous on there. If you use I like the cloud CMA too, but something to look into.
Nope, the CMA on the RPR is very, very good, and it's attached to the state of New Jersey.
Yep. When we pull up in front of a house, like check out a house or whatever, all I gotta do is plug in the address. It'll tell me all the information under there, advance the screen, and it'll give me all the houses, the 3 houses that are comps right then and there. All the
Oh,
info is
that's
right there. So when you're ready to knock on the door, you're armed with all the info.
Wow.
Yep,
It's
Okay.
also good dealing with for sale by owners too. If you don't know enough info about them, you can kind of look it up on there.
that's right. Okay, what is RPR? Rosemary, RPR, I don't really even know what it is. It stands for, let me find it. Realtor something, but let's see. RPR is something that's attached to your broker, your board membership. Because you pay your board, you also pay National Association, New Jersey Association. NA, here we go. I'll show you guys. This is
Realtors
it.
Property Resource.
Okay, so you all have this available to you. This is an industry thing. And when she says your credentials, I believe you are going to need your NERDS number. See your NRDS number? Okay, you will need that to get started and the email that you use for your NERDS number. So now some of you might be like, I don't remember the email. You probably didn't have a KW email when you set this up. So it's probably the Gmail account that you gave. Okay,
It
so
is.
just,
And how do you get this app? You can't go to the App Store? It has to be through?
no, Anne, you can, right, Anne?
I just got it on the App Store, yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so you got it on the App Store. All right,
There now, is it, I see RPR mobile, but it's not the same thing, I don't think.
Dan, is it RPR mobile? Or is it just RPR?
RPR Mobile looks like the website you just pulled up is similar to the layout on the app. Yeah.
Okay.
And they asked for the NRDS number as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and another resource I know is gosh, what is that called? House Pro? Do you guys,
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
is it House Pro? Hold on, let me
So I
see.
think it's that. I was asking about that, I think.
Let me see what it is. Is it Home Pro, House Pro,
Home, where? Oh,
Home Pro?
home.
Is it the open house app?
No, but the Open House app, I do want to pull up as well. Okay, so no, there's an Open House Pro, which is what Alvart was just referencing, right? Is that Alvart that just spoke? Alvart, are you using that at your open house?
I was going to last time, but then the listing agent said she didn't want to.
Okay,
But if I ever get the chance, I already have it downloaded on my iPad, so I'm like ready to go. I even played around with it to see how it works, and it's cool because you could like just export the whole list, and you can even go write notes for each group of people.
okay, so that's called Open House Pro. And that, for the purposes of keeping track of the people that are coming through your open house, you would have them sign in on that app. And if it's a wrong email, it will tell you right there. And you could say, I think you might have entered in one of the letters wrong. It's not registering. So it's a really great way for you to kind of keep track of that. I do know that there is also a way to do something inside of, what do you call? Inside of commands. Elise and I were talking about how could they just leave command open and let people kind of just enter them in as they're coming in the open house. All right, so inviting the neighbors would be the easiest invite, the easiest way to break into a neighborhood. Now, if I'm going to have an open house on Sunday, I want us to think about the entire week as a prospecting opportunity. Okay, number one is I don't want us to have a limiting belief that I don't want us to have a limiting belief that, well, the homeowners, my friends and family don't live around here. What would they care about my open house? They need to know you're working. I cannot tell you how many times my sister, my cousin, oh, you're going to be at that open house? I'm going to stop by. It might be 3 towns over, but they're going to stop by because they wanted to go for a ride. It's a Sunday. Okay. So if anything, your cousin in California is going like, wow, man, they're really working. Do I say you need to call your friends and family? No, but maybe you send an email to your whole database. Open houses for the weekend hosted by Mary Beth. That just says you're working and you have inventory.
Yeah. It really helps to re-image you to people who didn't know you as a realtor.
That's right. Okay. Then the next thing is going into the neighborhood. Now, on Wednesday is a day where I would always say is a sphere day. I want to catch up with my sphere. If I haven't touched my sphere by Wednesday, it's hump day. It's the middle of the week. Let's have a little fun conversation. Call them on a Wednesday. Send them a message on a Wednesday. On a Thursday, you have buyers that you're working. Send it out to all your buyer prospects, your seller prospects. Hey, we have this open house happening. Do you know anybody that would fit this house? We're looking to match make. Do you know anybody that needs this home? Now, granted, the home is going to be gone that weekend for sure, but the reality is you're just looking to attract more potential leads. And in this market, you will have to see 100 leads to see a couple deals. I mean, it's just the way it is. Then the next thing is, we have the neighbors. We can go door knocking with that personal invitation. You could make a little flyer, not a whole flyer, but maybe you make like an invitation size flyer. Shrink it down. My flyer used to be that invitation size, and it would say VIP. You've been exclusively invited. Please join us at our VIP open house 12 to 1. Refreshments will be served. Have the coffee going. Bring some cookies. Have a little, a little crudité. Okay. Now, when you're there with the homeowners, the conversation is very different than when the 1 o'clock time comes and the public comes. 12 to 1 o'clock. What am I doing? I am on show. I am being interviewed for a potential listing agent in the future.
Yeah.
That is what you have to think about it as. You're representing that homeowner. Those homeowners are coming to check out their neighbor. They're welcomed now. You welcome them to be a nosy neighbor. And you want to have comps around the area. You want to show them what's going on. You're basically going to do that equity analysis with them. But like, you're not going to actually do the analysis, but you're going to start to show them how much equity they have in their house. You're going to ask them, how long have you been in your home? Oh, how long have you been in your home? Did you open up this wall? Did you, how do you like the schools? How about this question? Hey, where would you move if you guys were going to move? Oh, we're never leaving. We love this neighborhood. Awesome. Is there a move up neighborhood that makes sense? Like would you leave here and go somewhere? Because you're not going to know every single listing you ever take, but now it gives me the opportunity to learn, oh, you know what? People who buy on Yellowbrook wind up buying over here in the Four Corners.
Or another question is, where do a lot of your neighbors come from? Where did you come from?
Yeah, where'd you move here? Where'd you move here from?
Oops, Mary Beth.
Is that
Okay,
like good luck in some culture? I'm joking.
okay.
But anyway, okay, so gives you a really good time to like network with those homeowners. And then maybe you have a little like, hey, here are the properties that are, just to give you an equity snapshot of what's going on in the neighborhood. And then 1 o'clock, now you got a public open house. And 1 to 3, how are you manning all of those people? Once again, you are on an interview. People are watching. How do you talk? What do you look like? How do you smell? I'm not kidding. How do you, I mean, really, your jacket, do you have a jacket on? Like all of that matters when people are coming through because they are judging you for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And take some time to go and visit open houses and look for the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's a
All
really
right.
great tip. Great tip because they're out there. All of it is out there. And what I would say to you is we were talking about this in my coaching group yesterday. We talk a lot about scripts. We don't talk a lot about dialogue. And so the script to get you to talk with me, great. Now we're in conversation, but what about the dialogue for me to like chit chat, the back and forth, the banter, the like, get to know my style, be yourself, be authentic and real in those conversations. Number one is they must sign in. Why do they have to sign in? Well, because if you lived here, you'd want somebody signing in too. No?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know who's in my house. So do the right thing and put your name down, please. Thank you. And the reason why this was on my heart a bit is because I am hearing some of you say people are coming through and they're falling between the fingertips, or the bulk of the people are people that are coming through with realtors. So when that happens, but if I went out and I prospected the neighborhood and I told all the homeowners to come an hour before, nobody's calling those people to prospect. So those were all my people. And then who do they know that needs to move in the neighborhood? Oh, my niece needs to buy. Oh, this one wants to buy. Oh, give me them. Let me call them. Let me see if I can get them here today. Like, those are opportunities that nobody else has. Now, the people that do come walking through the open house, if they have an agent, you gotta respect that. If they have an agent or they tell you they have an agent, here would be the follow-up question I would be asking. So how many homes have you seen? You know, how many homes have you seen with them? I'm just wondering, like, what areas have you looked at? How do we compare to those? If they can't answer you, they're just trying to BS you. They don't want to be
I'd ask
bothered.
If they have a contract, if they signed any agreement.
Thank you, Roddy. Have you signed any agreement with your agent? And what would I have on my table? Tell me, and I'll get to you, Rosalie, in a second, but what would I have on my table for everybody to see? What are some things that you're going to be bringing to display on the table?
Maybe some information about the neighborhood.
Great. Albert did something really great. What did you do? We were talking about it before, about schools.
Oh, I kind of just made my own like spreadsheet of all the best school districts in all of New Jersey, and then in like the neighborhoods that I focus in, like, I mean, the counties that I focus in.
Okay. And you used what site to do that with?
Niche.com.
Niche.com, greatschools.net. She just went out there and she got her own information so that when somebody comes in, she can tell me. And she just told me that Tenafly is #2 in the state or #2 in the county.
In like Bergen County, yeah. But I think it's like top 20 in the state or something, yeah.
Okay, so she sounds pretty knowledgeable about the area. And if I'm buying in one of our northern I want to know about the school systems. Even if I don't have kids, I want to know that the value is going to stay, because as she was talking about, what about the taxes of all of those properties? So I'm going to pay for it regardless. I better have something that I could then turn around and sell, because it's got something really great for those taxes. Okay, so I might have some.
Is it better to use a fact sheet of the house or to use the MLS listing in terms of handing out information?
I mean, a
Yeah,
fact
the
sheet
customer
meaning like
copy. Yeah, customer copy of the MLS is, you know.
good enough for me. I mean,
But
then
what you put with it, I'm sorry, Mary Beth. Sometimes the town website is loaded with some really good information about the
Thank you.
resources in the town. Sometimes the most obvious are the easiest. So just go ahead and go into the town website.
that is a great advice. The town website, the county website. Go and do the research on these towns so that when you're getting to the open house, you seem to know more about anybody. Like the park down the road, and they just put the dog park over here, and they're putting a new Wegmans over this way. Whole Foods just came in. Those are the things that you would need to know before you go and sit at that open house, so that people that are coming through, are they going to buy that house? No, they're not.
Buying a lifestyle.
Yeah, they're buying the lifestyle. And the chances are they're probably not going to actually even get into bid on that specific house. They're buying the lifestyle that that area represents. So then the next follow-up question is, does this home fit in your budget? Is this the price point that you were looking for? Because here's the other thing that I notice. If I'm driving an area because I want to maybe live there, I'll go to any open house, especially the real pretty ones. But the real pretty ones might be way out of my price point. Okay, so you have to get real clear. You can't look at every single person coming through that door that they're going to buy that house. And if they're not going to buy this house, what are they looking for? What are they going to buy? Because I don't mind showing you around. And as Alvart was saying, she's got a great way to connect with them through the showing of the house. And she's doing a needs analysis through the showing of the house. So through that needs analysis, I can easily find out, you know what, Alvart, if you're not interested in this area, what areas are really going to be on what are your top 2? And she tells me, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? No problem. I'll show you around the house. What would I be doing with her as I'm showing her around the house if I know she's definitely not interested in this house? I'd be connecting with her, number 1. And number 2, I'd be asking her, what does she love and what does she hate? Tell me what you hate about this house. Tell me what you love about this house. Because an open floor plan is an open floor plan. A small room is a small room. I mean, little things that she says, I now start to get what she likes. Okay, so we are emailing, we are calling, we are texting. To Patty's point is, yes, we could text out our mobile app. Sometimes our mobile app has a little bit of a glitch. And I've shared that with you all, that if you are uncertain or you don't want to send that app out because you're just not sure if it's gonna absolutely work, what I would tell you to do is go into your commands, go to the last applet down here that says consumer, and understand, Dorothy, was the last applet down here which says consumer,
Okay, thank you.
and understand that your website is right here. It's sitting right here for you.
Right.
This is something that for sure, 100%, you could send out that link and it is going to be an easy use for people. I go to current location, boom, it's going to pop open. No glitching, nothing like that. Okay. But if you send the app, you might get a little bit of glitching. So I want to give you a solution. And easily I could go in here and I could do a saved search. Okay. So I could save a search in here. And I could email out that link. Like, let's just say I did a search. For a price. And the price was in this area. And I'm just giving you an example, 525 cents. And I saved the search. I could save the search, or I could just go now up to here. And this is the search. If I went ahead and copied that browser from the browser, and let's just say I went and I put it on my Facebook, it's going to link them right out. Well, because that's the name of my website. It will say your name. It will say your bio underneath it, but it's going to link out here. Now, if I were to take this out, it's still there and I post it out on Facebook, just going to show you what it looks like, because now I'd have to put a header saying, check out homes in our Perth Amboy area from 525 and 700. It's going to lead them right to the page that I went up here and I copied and pasted this. I could also create a little tiny URL for this if I wanted to. I could work in the back end and I could create some landing pages. And I could create landing pages that actually lead to those searches. And I could take these pages and I could put them out on my social media and in my text blasts and whatnot. So what I would say to you is, as you do an open house, you should also have that listing pulled up on your agent website. And let's just say, to the point of time, is let's just say this was your listing. This listing right here, this 299er was your listing. Okay, great. Or this is the listing that you're sitting at. Go ahead and take this link and text this to yourself and text this out to the people as they come through the house. So that now when they open this up on their phone, they're going to need to open up in your website. And if they have any inquiries, it's going to come to you as the agent, not as the listing agent, but as the agent who shared their website out with the client that walked through the door. Okay. Little things to be like ahead of things. Don't wait till the open house is over for you to start communicating with the people. Okay. Do it right there. Like, you know what? Let me get your cell phone. I could text you this listing right now. What's your cell phone? I mean, they're going to act all weird. Then like, all right, whatever. There's 25 other people behind you, but like, to make it easy, let me just text it to you. Okay. So now here we are. We've emailed, we've walked, we do the neighborhood walk. We knock on the doors the day before. We could knock on the doors 2 hours before. Hey, I just wanted to remind you, we're doing an open house. The directionals are everywhere because we want traffic to come. But now if we've done this for all week, maybe don't you think that in the week with all of this prospecting, somebody might need to buy or sell a house? Like, yeah, you're talking to people about this open house, but all of this prospecting is done not around something that is not even your listing. And you could generate business. So now fast forward on Saturday, those signs better be out. Maybe we don't do balloons. Maybe we do little flags because the balloons pop. Maybe we do flag in the ground. Maybe we do little, I don't know. And now here's the other thing. Now you're at the open house. And I'm going to encourage you to take a map, go onto the MLS, pull the listings up and map them. Okay. So if you're on NJMLS and you're pulling up some properties and let's say you're doing a listing in Wyckoff and it's 600,000. So you pull everything from 5 to 700,000. Now you better pull under and you better pull over. And you got all of those houses and now you do the map view. Print out that map view. Look at those listings. And this is advice that years ago. Now I'm gonna look at the listing. I'm gonna say that listing right there, that has the best kitchen out of all these. That listing right there, that has the best backyard. That listing over there is the best value for the dollar. Now I pick 3 things. And now I make that be a marketing piece that I can hand out to the people. Why? Because they're going to find those listings anyway. And now you're the person telling them this best kitchen. You want to see that? I could show it to you. It doesn't have to be your listing. They're going to find it anyway. And one more thing is, if they don't buy this house, what house are they going to go buy? There's another one around the corner. There's another one over on the other side of town. Okay. If there is another listing that looks like that listing, and that a buyer that walked through this house should probably see that house also. Hands down, every Sunday, I always had an appointment for that house right after my open house finished. Okay, so if my open house is over at 3 o'clock, I have an appointment at the house around the corner from 3 to 4. Now, everybody that was coming through my open house, if I thought they were really serious, I would tell them, why don't you meet me at 123 Main Street at 3:15? I'll show you that house. And I would book another appointment, maybe 2-3 people would show up at that house around the corner with me to go see that too. Like, go get a coffee and then I can show you. I remember one time somebody said, I'd love to see it, but we got to go. I put the sign on the door. I'll be right back. I went and showed them the house and I came back. I mean, when the buyer is on the lot, he's buying. So there are queues for people that are hot buyers, hot sellers, and I'm a high D. If I walk through your open house and you don't wow me, I am not going to go calling you. If you're not on top of me, giving me some information that I could chew on, like, wow, you know, at the schools, that was pretty good. Like, let me call this girl Alvart, see if she knows what's going on over in Bergenfield, if they're any good over there. Now I'll just use her for anything, because if schools was important to me, that's going to be my girl. So I don't want you guys to just be order takers. You know, when I ran a restaurant, I would tell the girls and the guys, like, look, you're going to have to be here for a couple hours anyway. Why not make $20 tips every freaking table instead of $5? People are calculating how much they're going to give you. Wow them. Go get them the bread. Put the extra butter in it. See how they like it. This lady likes the oil. He likes the sauce. Give it to them both. You know, I mean, like, this is what we're talking about, is customer service is really making somebody feel that was like a great open house. You know, you could laugh, but baking some cookies or putting little snacks out, people are going to go, oh, the house that we got the cookies at.
Yep. Differentiate yourself, because they're seeing other houses. As long as they're in the car, they're driving around, they're seeing other ones. At the end of the day, you want them to remember you.
All right. So I'm going to stop there right now because we've gone over and I don't want to go over too much. We can continue this next week because we'll go into more of converting. I'm concerned that we're not connecting and converting through dialogue, connecting and converting. Okay. Because you're all getting out there. All right. So any last minute things that we could talk about right now? I know we dropped a whole bunch of stuff on you today. Danny, Danny DeScala, are you okay over there? You just gave this overwhelming face. It was like a
yeah, no, it was a lot, but I'm glad you acknowledged that. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Very good stuff. Yes, much appreciated. Thank
Let's
you.
just keep peeling the onion. Let's just.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it all over again. I think
Well, it's being
Okay.
recorded.
I need to hear it
so-
again to digest it.
Okay. Well, it is recorded. I'll make sure that is posted out. It will be on the Coaching Lobby YouTube. If you
The
want to
other thing
read.
is, if we're working an open house, and we meet these people, do we provide all the people's information that we met to the listing agent? Like, do they need all their contact information?
No, unless that is what you arranged, unless it was previously arranged that way. No, regularly, no, it would be, but I do agree that you need to have a conversation. Hey, how are we dealing with the leads that come through? How would you like me to handle them?
That's right.
The listing agent doesn't need every lead that comes through. You're helping them. Kristen? Bajrami?
I was just gonna ask, yeah, I was just gonna ask if you had time this week for a one-on-one. I have a few things.
Yeah. Text me.
Just a quick question. Our partners, are they vetted by KW already? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't just let anybody on there. We do have to make sure they're reputable. Somebody's worked with them before. Natalie kind of goes through a whole bunch of stuff before they can come on our vendor list. And you have to be able to work with them. So as much as I could say, yep, they're all amazing professionals, is every single one for me? No. So you got to make sure who works for you, and then forget about you because you're not important in this. Who works best with your client? Because the client might be totally different than your behavior, and who you would like to work with may not be the best fit for who your client should work with. So it is important to know all the different styles and behaviors, especially of your attorneys and of your mortgage lenders.
So is that something we should be doing, reaching out?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would.
Communicate, over communicate.
I would absolutely. Well, I think Roddy, she means introduce herself to some of the loan officers and see if she can't get a feel for them, right?
Sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Home warranty and everything, yeah.
Everything.
Before you introduce, you take it upon yourself. Even, well, the good part is that they're vetted, but now how do you feel about them?
Correct. So, all right.
Lawyers too.
Oh, thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you,
You're
Patty.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you
Thank you.
back here next week. If you need me or Patty, please feel free to reach out. We are both completely accessible for you. Okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.